Hello and welcome to day one of the 5-day Get Started Podcasting Challenge. I am so excited that you're here because in this very first day, we're going to dive right in and we're really going to help you build a solid foundation for your podcast. That's ultimately what we're going to do here in this challenge. Is your first action is going to be to think about what are those strategies? What are those things that I need to do in order to really build that solid foundation? Stephen Covey of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talks about this one philosophy that I really resonate with, and that is begin with the end in mind. And that's exactly what you need to do with your podcast and with your business. In order to actually create a solid business out of your podcast, you need to start at the very ending. That needs to be the first place you want to go, is figure out what is that end and work backwards from there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually talk about some of the foundational questions that I ask every client that I work with. We go through 3 main foundational questions, and we're going to talk about each of those here in this little video today. And number 1 is you need to figure out what your overall objective is. This is where we talk about this is really truly beginning with the end in mind. Stephen Covey also has another really great saying: if your ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step you take gets you to the wrong place faster. This is an excellent quote, and this is something that we want to make sure you avoid. We want to make sure that your ladder is leaning up against the right wall. So all of your efforts, all of your marketing, all of the content that you're creating in your podcast is leading in the right direction, is getting you to that ultimate end goal of having more impact and more income in your business. So you need to think about what is that overall objective that you have. Here are just a few examples. It might be different than these, but selling an online course, doing more coaching might be an objective. Getting more speaking gigs is another possible objective. You also, a lot of times, people will say list building or just general brand awareness. Now, I want to throw out a huge caution before we go any further, is I hear those last 2 a lot. I hear list building and brand awareness a lot by people, that's their objective for having a podcast. That is not a great overall objective. Yes, these are excellent side benefits, but one thing you want to realize is that people are never as excited about you as when they first sign up for your email list. As you continue to send them more information, continue to send them more emails, if they don't take action to build on that momentum of initially signing up, they're actually going to decrease in their level of excitement for you. So it's only by actually getting them to take a next step. Maybe it's joining a Facebook community. Maybe it's just responding to an email. Maybe it's participating in some way. It doesn't always have to be actually taking an offer, but one of the things we like to do is actually place an offer in front of a new subscriber very early on. Not necessarily right away. You're still going to teach, but one of my favorite ways to do this is, say, a podcast listener decides to raise their hand and get on your email list. Well, then from there, the next step is going to be to put them into a quick nurture sequence. Maybe that's a 5-step sequence where that 5th part of that sequence, that 5th email, they're actually getting an offer to sign up for your membership site, or to buy your book, or to do a coaching call with you, something like that. Something where you're trying to help figure out who those potential raving fans are right away, early on, because that's how you can actually increase your momentum with them. The second thing you want to really think about, the second question, is figuring out who is your ideal target audience. Who is that ideal client? This is going to take into account, your general demographics, age, education background, male, female, things like that. But it's also going to, even more importantly, take into account mindset. Where are the groups that they hang around? What is their frame of reference? Are they very outdoors and active? Are they really into gaming? You want to think about more psychographics than just demographics. Really dive into what is the mindset of the ideal client I want to work with, because we're going to focus in on those people, because truly the riches are in the niches. And by that, I don't just mean niching things down based by topic. I mean very niche by your ideal audience, by their psychographics, figuring out who that exact person is, because when you can talk to that exact person, you're going to actually move more people into action, because they're going to relate to that exact person. They're going to relate to those specifics. They might generalize it some, but they're going to really relate and they're going to really resonate when you can actually talk to that one specific ideal client. So figure out who is that ideal client for you. Go through a few of those steps. What is their background? What does their story look like? Because it really is only by getting very specific that you actually allow people to generalize. The third spot we really want to focus in is what is your differentiation factor, because by focusing in on your uniqueness is actually how you find that success. The more you can focus in on your uniqueness, what makes you uniquely you, whether that's your stories, your experiences, or even in the way you structure your podcast, kind of the format of it, trying to do a format of a daily podcast that does a set of questions talking to entrepreneurs, a 5-day-a-week podcast, that has been done before. That is kind of played out a little bit. So you're not going to be unique by that format. So you need to think about then other ways to be unique. Maybe you only talk to certain entrepreneurs. Maybe you only talk to nonprofits. Maybe, whatever it may be, you need to think about what is it that actually will make me stand out. What is it that will put me apart from the crowd, not what allows me to be lumped all together. Because it truly is your differentiation that is your difference maker. And I don't want you to forget that. So what is it that makes you unique? What is that differentiation factor for you and your podcast and your business? So those are really the 3 foundational questions that I want you to take action on today. So carve out 30 minutes and really dive in and get to work on figuring out what your answers are for each of those. Don't just blow past this and not do this part, because this is one of the most crucial actually steps that you can do, is to make sure that you have that solid foundation in which to build your podcast audience and to which to build your business. So create a solid foundation. Go take action right now, and you'll see there is actually a worksheet with this challenge. So be sure to grab that. That's going to kind of walk you through answering those foundational questions and should hopefully help you out in actually coming up with some answers for that. Now is really the time for you to do the work and really make it real. Don't put this off. Make sure to get this done. This is truly important to really have that solid foundation. And I want to make sure you have a great jumping off platform as we go through the rest of the 5 days here, the other 4 days. If you don't have this step done, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So do this step first before moving on to any of the other steps. And also, I really want to hear from you. I want to know what is your overall objective. Simply go to the Facebook post that is going to be linked up underneath this video. Go to this post that is specifically for day 1 of the challenge and leave a comment letting us know what your overall objective is. You're going to get feedback from other people in the group, and also if you do go and leave a comment, I am going to be going through and selecting one person to get a free 3-month subscription to Podcast University. I will select that person on day 5 of the challenge. So go be sure to leave a comment to get entered to win, and plus just get great feedback on this, and hopefully you'll get some great feedback and coaching, which will help propel you through the other 4 days and really get your podcast started off on the right foot. And there you have it. That is day 1. Be sure to go through, answer those questions, leave a comment on the Facebook post letting us know and what your objective is. You'll be entered into the contest at that point. And also, if you know anyone who needs to start a podcast or has been thinking about starting a podcast, or even if you just simply know, say, someone who wants to be an author and you know they have a message, just simply share with them podcastingchallenge.com. That'll take them right to the sign up page where they can sign up and enter the challenge right there. So thanks again, and until day 2, it's time for you to go out there, take action, and maximize your impact and your income.